Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, Twitch chat, and welcome back to Let Us Play. I'm your host, Father Evan. It's good to be with y'all today for this Throwback Thursday, diving into one of my favorite Zelda games. Good to see you, Gale. Good to see you, Bedrocks. Good to see Catholic Brit. And Gale, congratulations. You have won the crown of Firstendom this day. And because it is the Legend of Zelda that we're playing today, I think it's the crown that goes bum 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 bum. I amuse myself sometimes. Anyway, we're going to be playing Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening, which came out actually on the Game and Watch Legend of Zelda. This was like an anniversary thing, so it has Zelda 1, 2, and Link's Awakening, originally a Game Boy game, then director's cut in the Game Boy Color. Let's. I don't know how this is going to work. Let me turn up the volume here. Stupid pop filter breaking. I don't know how well you can hear. Can you see it, chat? Can you see it? I don't know if this is gonna work. Like I said, I amuse myself. No, of course that's not how we're playing it. So I actually wanted to play this on the Super Game Boy, but the problem is that plays it like it's on a Game Boy, not a Game Boy Color. So it's going to come across as monochrome. I could barely see in here, but yes, peak content. So this is the cutscene background for Link's Awakening. This is the same Link as Zelda 1 and 2 on the NES. He is washed on this shore and was found by her. Who? We'll find out. Now, an added funness to this is I've decided I'm going to use my arcade stick to play this. Because why not? I'm doing well, Britt. Oops. Nerd. I'm streaming a Zelda game. I think that was established. Oh, whoops. That was my test file. Just to make sure everything was working. We will be, of course, Link. The one true hero. No! What a relief. I thought you'd never wake up. You were tossing and turning. What? Zelda? No, my name's Marin. You must still be feeling a little woozy. You were on Koholint Island. Follow the lane south to reach the beach where I found you. Since you washed ashore, lots of nasty monsters have been in the area, so be careful, okay? Mario ripoff. Oh! Whoa, boy, where are you off to in such a hurry? Set a spell, I got something to tell ya. Well, Link, you finally snapped out of it. Name's Terran. Hope you're feeling better. What? How'd I know your name? You think it's weird, eh? Well, I saw it on the back of this shield. Got your shield back. Press the button and repel enemies with it. Hey, you got a car again. I understand how that could be a financial stressor, but you probably also needed a car, so it's good to have one. Ow. Sword! Hoot hoot! So you are the lad who owns the sword. Now I understand why the monsters are starting to act so violently. A courageous lad has come to wake the windfish. I'm sorry, do what? It is said that you cannot leave the island unless you wake the windfish. You should now go north to the mysterious forest. I will wait for you there. What? 153 miles. That sounds like it got a good long life out of it. You found the sword. It must be yours because it has your name engraved on it. Link, did you engrave your name on the Master Sword? No, leave me alone. What if we took a little detour? Oh! You've got a piece of heart. Hoot hoot! Ho, brave lad, on your quest to wake the dreamer. Welcome to the mysterious wood. Much of mystery you will find. I don't think that grammatically makes sense. On this uncharted Koholint island, I'm afraid you may find it a trifle difficult to leave the island while the windfish snaps. Excuse me. By the way, have you ever visited the Tail Cave, which is south of the village? Go there with the key you find in this forest. The windfish is watching. Hoot! Okay, I have several questions. Oh, there goes the music. That's gonna happen a lot in this game. As a raccoon, my nose is very sensitive to stuff like dust and powder. Oh, you're going to be lost thanks to me. That raccoon teleported me. Hey, Caesar. Hope you're doing well today. Playing one of my favorite Zeldas, and of course I've made it harder. This is my controller. Do I have other controllers? Yes. You pick the toadstool. As you hold it over your head, a mellow aroma flows into your nostrils. Don't talk about me and my nostrils ever again. Why does he have a sword? Only I'm supposed to have one. Heal your wounds and get rid of all that stress. Good luck. Okay, so that's the raccoon screen. Ow. Ah, this is what I was looking for. We gotta go find a witch. Found her. Ah, it has the sleepy toadstool, it does. We'll mix it in with something in a jiffy. We will. It's all ready. It is. Take care, as there's not much there. Why not try a bit in my hut? There's not much. Here, use some. There's much debate on what is best Zelda, what is the worst. Are we counting Philips CDI games or not? Or are we just counting things developed by Nintendo? Do not badmouth the CDI games. You're right, they badmouth themselves just fine. I know Spirit Tracks is usually not that loved. I've never played it. It's one of the few Zelda games I haven't played. The last thing I can remember is biting into a big juicy toadstool. Then I had the darndest dream. I was a raccoon. Yeah, sounds strange, but it sure was fun. Okay, Marin. I'm trying to remember the name of the other DS one. That was a more direct sequel to, you've got the Tail Cave. Now you can open the Tail Cave gate. That was a more direct sequel to, Wind Waker. That one's not great. What? Take the key and go to the Tail Cave. Retrieve the instrument that is hidden there. Now go. The windfish is waiting. What? I'd probably put one of those up there. I know Zelda 2 is sometimes held as one of the worst ones, but to be fair, I mean, it was the first sequel. They were really experimenting. And a lot of what it does is actually establishes the DNA of the Zelda games. Maybe the actual controls could use some fine-tuning, but... So yeah, personally, for myself, I would say either whatever the other DS one is that I can't remember its name, or honestly, Skyward Sword. I found it mid. You don't like 4? I thought 4 was supposed to be considered like one of the best in the Final Fantasy series. I really liked 4. Level 1, Tail Cave. Yeah. One day you'll pick up the Pixel remasters. I got a version on the Switch. I don't think it's the Pixel remasters. I think it's like a re-release of the originals, but they're really good. I got it for like $6 and it was the first 6 games. You got a compass, now you can see where the chest is, and a nightmare are hidden. This compass has a new feature. A tone will tell you when a key is hidden in a room when you enter. Which honestly would be a really nice thing if they brought that back. No, 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 no! I slipped. Even though I have an octagonal gate, it's sometimes hard to tell what's down on an arcade stick. Behold the complexity of this puzzle. However will I solve it? I really always like these 2D segments. These are very divisive in the Zelda fandom, I think. Ah! I'm trying to land on top of the Goomba, because if you do, you get a heart. You've got the rock's feather! Why would a rock have a feather? They're really getting bolder with these items. It feels like your body is a lot lighter. Rude. I don't think a treasure chest counts as hidden, but okay. In terms of the chime of there will be a hidden key in the room. You got the Nightmare's key. Now you can open the door to the Nightmare's lair. Do I have to? Mini boss, whatever this thing is. Outsider. So this Moldorm fight is fun because if you fall off, it regains all its health. It also regains your health if you get a game over. There we go. You've got the full moon cello. Swamp, a path opens and it blooms. Bloomin' onions? What? That's an instrument of the sirens. I have to admit at first I did not believe you were ready. Or real. That instrument along with the 7 others in the set has the power to wake the windfish. You must collect them all. I was instructed to give you directions. Your next goal is north, in Kopunga Swamp. What indeed? Hey, buddy, it's serious. Yeah, really serious. Yeah, it is. The moblins came to the village. Yeah, that's right. A whole gang of moblins. Then it's for real. They all went to they went, and then did you ever had a dream? Have you? Yeah, that house. And then they did something at Bow Wow's house. It was really bad scene with the moblins. So I mean, it might be faster to find out for yourself what happened. Well, I know we're in a rush, but it's Dr. Wright. Well, I pretty much stick to myself, me and my letters. My name's Wright. The only thing I don't like to talk about is my hobby, is that I never receive a response. Aw, Mr. Wright's lonely. Joy! Well, welcome to the Gopanga Swamp, where we are fairly limited on what we are actually able to do. Because of all these flowers! Ow. Wow, this looks pretty heavy. You won't be able to lift it without just your bare hands. Yeah, I know. Oh no. Oh, we need to go the other way. Through the forest. I'll just leave all you guys alone. That's okay. Since starting back up at work, I've learned that we're letting the AI do more things, which means I get to fix more things that the AI does wrong. Yay. For a language learning model, sure can't read. Nope. It's not their job. Their job is to just predict things. Well, first of all, happy feast of St. Joseph the Worker. We need... It is right and just to protect the dignity of workers. But in the gospel, there's this particular line that John has about he does not ration his spirit. And I think that's just a really good reminder of, you know, God does not ration his love or expression with us. No read, only predict. Next word. Exactly. Yeah? Who's this suspicious-looking runt? Okay, boys, let's get rid of him. I'm dodging like I'm in the Matrix. We've got a Guardian Acorn. I know. I've gotten a lot of Guardian Acorns. I've only gotten one Power Triforce. You must be an assassin sent by Madame Meow Meow to rescue the mutt. You came here to get me, but it is I who will get you. I like that he assumes I'm an assassin. You saved Bow Wow! What a Fearsome beast. Who's a fearsome beast? What? That is a fearsome-looking animal you have there. Do not forget the next instrument is in Goponga Swamp. Yeah, I know, dude. I'm trying to return this fearsome beast home, maybe? Be a good citizen or something? See me later. When you're alone. I thought there was a picture you could get with, Bow Wow. Oh, sure, now I get a piece of power. Go talk to your mother. Oh, thank you. I'm so happy you brought my baby back. Now would you be a dear and take him for a walk? It would really help me out a lot. You will? Thanks. Yep. Woof, dig, rough. I don't have a shovel. I can't afford that shovel. What if I took the shovel? Why? After all, why shouldn't I? I'll tell you why. Because if you take the shovel, you can actually steal from the shopkeep in this game. I think it's the only Zelda where you can do that. But if you do, you get named Thief, and you can't get the best ending. Which I can't get already because I've got a game over, but I don't want to be called Thief by everyone for the rest of the game. This will mean I'll probably have to grind for the 900 rupees in order to buy the bow, but I can do that off screen. Anyway, it's time to take out these flowers. Come here, Bowser. Right here. Bowser? Bow Wow. I am getting really lucky with these acorns. So if you name yourself Thief from the beginning, does it lock you out of the best ending? I don't think so. If you enter your name as Zelda, you get different music the first time you start the game. Also good to see a Sub-Zero. Bottle Grotto! No, you can't bring Bow Wow in with you. That would be OP. You found a stone beak. We didn't actually find that in the last dungeon. Let's find the owl statue that it belongs to. Or we could not. Part of the floor is raised. Tap the blue crystal. Wrong button. Let's take that off. So I don't waste any more of that. Got a small key. Okay, I can't deal with that yet. Oh, wait, maybe I can. I can deal with that. You got the compass. Small key is nice. Let's go get that key. Hey, Julius, good to see you. Hope you're doing well. You're doing amazing! That's wonderful to hear. What's making so amazing? Whoop! The Hinox! Just casually throwing in a giant Cyclops. No, that's okay. Come back here, fairy. Concern it. Despawned. Sounds like you had a profound experience of God. At last, you got the map! I didn't show this last time, but I love that the map is shaped like a bottle because this is Bottle Grotto. I think all the maps are shaped in some way. I forgot to show it off in the first dungeon. Might have helped you save another human life. Wow. So I can't go that way. I can't go that way. Oh, I do have a key. Okay. All glory to him, amen. Oop. Change that, so that's up. You infer that the Switch remake would not qualify as throwback? I don't think so, and also I don't own it. And plus, if I'm... Oh, right, I have Power Bracelet active. Plus, if I'm using the Switch version, I can't use this to play it. Actually, I probably still could, but... It's probably not TOS. Well, it's good probably not to violate that then. But it sounds like it was a profound experience, and we give thanks to God for that. You have to kill those in a specific order. I know the beginning of this game really well. I have beaten it, but only like once or twice. Oh, angry face. It's actually pretty awesome getting to go into the boss fight with a piece of power. You can't hurt me as long as I have my bottle. I can't move, but I'm still alright. Your little sword can't break this bottle. You can't hurt me as long as I have my bottle. So they added that in, actually, in the American release. It's not present in the Japanese original. Because playtesters were finding... They were finding they'd get to this, they'd throw his bottle and nothing would change. And they're like, oh, well, I guess that's not what I'm supposed to do. You can't hurt me as long as I have my bottle. So it's meant to be a hint to you of, hey, pay attention to his bottle. No, I lost my piece of power because I took too much damage. So I thought I could hit him. Well, you broke my bottle. Why you make me hopping mad? No! Unsart it. I think this is the best way for us to get back to where there. I was right. Oh, also these rabbit-eared monsters, they were originally supposed to be defeated by a microphone. And in the NES original in Japan, they are. Well, the original Zelda, I should say. Okay, let's retry this fight. Yes, yes, you are the bad guy. You are the Billie Eilish. Yeah, I can't hurt you. You're a genie. You have infinite cosmic power, itty bitty living space, and you choose to look like a clown. I forgot the key strategy. Just stand there and swing. You got the conch horn! Sweet, my ska band is coming together. Prairie, prairie, home companion. The prairie is waiting. This guy's just what happens when 13-year-olds Get extra cheese sticks. You're not wrong, but also shut up. I like ska. Ska is not dead. Yay, a guardian acorn. You are now one with ska? Yeah, that's fair. I've been called worse. Who did I see that was going to have a show recently? It's not in the cards for me to go, but I would like to. Trendy game. One play, 10 rrrs. I would like one Yoshi doll, please. Recently, he seems to be showing up in many games. Oh, Yoshi. Let's go buy a shovel. So I would like one shovel. Deluxe shovel! What makes a shovel deluxe? Why is a shovel 200 rupees and a single bomb is 10 rupees? This seems improperly balanced in the economy. Yeah, I'm here to dig. Yeah, I'm digging! You found a secret seashell! Oh, I forgot about these. They are a collectible of all time. Oh ho ho, I really appreciate what you did for my poor precious Bow Wow. You're such a nice boy. How can I ever repay you? I know. Smooch! You got a reward from Madam Meow Meow. La 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 lucky. You're a Hylian and you're digging a hole. Diggy hole? No. What makes a shovel deluxe? Ask a Creeksman. I don't think they have deluxe shovels. I think they're just very proud of theirs. Yep, those are my boys. I'm Pop-Paul. Pleased to meet ya. I'll be lost in the hills later, so keep a lookout for me here. Oh, will you give me that doll to my baby? Sure. Well, thank you. You are indeed a generous person. Ah, I will give you this in return. You traded your Yoshi doll for a bow. Maybe you can trade the ribbon for something else. It's a trading quest that is mandatory up to a point and then becomes optional. Makeup, jewels, dresses, I want it all. And some new accessories would be nice. Oh, that ribbon, I need it. Will you trade for my dog food? Yes. Lucky, thanks. Well, here's your dog food. Any percent? Okay, are we talking original DX or the Switch remake? Because this is the DX version. This is the Game Boy Color DX. And I know there are some glitches that exist only in the original Game Boy. Original release. Okay. Minute 27 seconds. What's that you have? It's canned food, for heaven's sake, man. Give that food to me, please. He's hysterical. What will you do? Give it to him. Oh, thank you. I'll take that. And he ate it, can and all. Just under 3 minutes. Okay. Ah, that was great. I know it's not a fair trade, but here, have some bananas. They're rich in potassium. Also, one thing I've appreciated of this game is just how massive it is. Look at this world map for a Game Boy game. It's a fairy fountain. Has many categories, glitchless, any percent. How is any percent faster than all glitches allowed? But yeah, this is a very popular game to speedrun in the Zelda community. I think probably just after Ocarina of Time and Link to the Past. I don't think I can go further this way because there's... Yep, I need the boots. I am unlikely to intentionally activate any of the glitches because A, I don't know them, but B, probably won't be doing the inputs even if I did know them. But you never know. Streamer luck is real, and it often leads to just random glitches showing up out of nowhere. Hey, it's our first teleporter. What an adventure. Right, Slime Cave. That's a thing. Hello, frogs. Ah, salutations. You wouldn't know by the look of me, but I used to live in the castle. My servants went berserk, and I was forced to flee my villa. So you want the key to Ukuku Prairie, do you? I may be able to help you. Let's make a deal, shall we? I want you to retrieve the golden leaf I left behind in the castle when I fled. Okay. I'm impressed. There are 5 leaves in all. Remember to buy a shovel on your way back. I already have a shovel. Why do I need a second? I always thought this beehive looked like an old woman. In case the first shovel breaks, obviously. Oh. See, I've never been grave robbing. So I wouldn't know these pieces of etiquette. Canelet Castle, 50 paces. 1, 2, 3. Oh, that was pretty quick. Let me in! Let me in! Let me in. Hello, monkey. Banana, banana! Oh, oh, oh. You get bananas, Kiki. Monkeys, come. Repay him. Monkey business done. Bye-bye. I got a stick. You found a stick a monkey left behind. You take it. I love the writing of this game. It's a little out there. That was close. You found a gold leaf. Nope, turn. Thank you. Huh? It sounds like the castle gate opened. You can easily leave the castle now. Yeah, but I don't have all the gold leaves. I found you hiding in the wall. You cannot fool me. Cardinal Richelieu must have sent you. I do not remember how you're supposed to know that, but... You found a gold leaf! How many have I collected? 3. So there's 2 outside. I have a plan. It's just crazy enough it might work. Dang it! Ah! Double KO. If you throw powder on an anti-fairy, it becomes a regular fairy. Fine, be that way. I think the bird is glitched. There we go. Phone is lagging out. Must away. Should look to a new phone soonish. Sounds it. Found a gold leaf. Ah, dang it. This would be so much easier with a bow. There we go. Now to see Richard about that key. Let's go see Richard in a moment. We're just off exploring for now. Wow, look at all these places I can't go. We found a secret seashell. You need secret seashells to get the best... Well, to get the level 2 sword. Alright, Richard, here are your leaves. Ah, très bien. I see you have recovered all the leaves. Now move this box. You will find your reward. That's stairs. That's not a key. I'm beginning to think Rich doesn't understand what a key is. Richard! You've got some splaining to do, young man. So that's a dead end. Gonna hop off so you can push through a work thing. Hey, you have a great rest of your day. Want to take a nap too tired? That's valid. But hope you have a great rest of your day. Go get the work thing done. Richard! You've got the slime key. You can open the gate into Cuckoo Prairie. Hey, did you like going through that maze once? Boy, howdy. Sure hope you did, because now you gotta do it in reverse. They say that syndicates of wizards have led to boycott the imperial goods in the land of Altmer. No! I bet that can't end well. Level 3, Key Cavern. Your brain has been entirely replaced by Oblivion NPC lines. How's your Patrick Stewart impression? I'm still waiting for the day we have an Elder Scrolls game that allows you to traverse all of Cyrodiil. I think that would be cool. You got a small key. You can open a locked door. Oh boy, a treasure chest. I can't wait to see what's inside. I guess it's fitting to be doing the key cave, considering there's a conclave about to start. So, yeah, sorry, Tamriel. Ciradel's just the capital. Yeah, but Elder Scrolls Online would require me to play a game online with other people. Elder King's mod for Crusaders King? That's... an interesting way to do it. No, I don't have a bow. These guys are much easier with a bow. One of these has a way forward, I bet. Also, why does a bird throw a ninja star? How? Barely interact with other people in ESO, pretty much only Dungeon Finder. Well, that's fair. I'm still waiting for the single player, though, that actively has all of Tamriel. I think we'll get it. Number 6. Bird ninjas. Oh, you know, I hadn't considered the bird ninja. I didn't play much of Kamigawa. You're actually interacting with people MMO's Eve. But that's not interacting with people, it's interacting with their spreadsheets. Wow, an arrow. I wonder what I'm supposed to do with that. Dang it, I can't do anything with that. I was tapping too quickly that I couldn't actually even register a hit. I get stuck in the first half of the animation. You play Eve by running a spreadsheet of how much ore I need to buy my weekly industry, messaging people on Discord to bug it, and log in to queue up my industry for the week. Sometimes I have time to join fleets and blow stuff up. I am glad you enjoy Eve. I don't get it. That sounds too much like your job. Oh, do you join fleets to blow stuff up at your job? What do you think we do with all the money? I don't know, probably just give it to Reed. Oh, he gives us the money. Oh, well, then you use it to maintain the redacted of your workplace. So that others can come and use said facilities and give you more money so that you can make more money so that they can give you more money. Capitalism. Oh, this rock has a keyhole. Fine. Be that way. So your company can spend more money on a picture of a fire pit than your wife and you spent on your house. Yeah, that also sounds right, unfortunately. Eve is a hobby to unpaid HR department for a player organization who's actually more bureaucratic than their actual jobs. Oh no. I hate fighting the Dodongos. I'm out of bombs. If a potential hire counted Eve, or had Eve on their resume, you'd count it. That's actually fair. Nope, that's not the Rock's feather. Let's retry this Dodongo fight. Because, of course, also having left the room, their health regenerates. This is not going to end well. What a day. Hey, I'm sorry to hear that, Mel. But I'm glad you're here for your lurk. Yes. Okay, okay. We're in this. We're in this. Dang it. Why do you have to turn at the last moment? We did it. With one bomb to spare. You got the Pegasus boots. If you hold down the button, you can dash. Good news, I get to go to Redacted to hang out with Beer Fox and Kairos on Friday. And not Sunday afternoon. Wait, and not Sunday? I mean, it's awesome that you're getting to hang out with them. Like, I get to travel earlier. Oh, okay, okay. Okay. I get what you're saying now. Oops, wrong button. Right, I don't have the map yet. Okay, I need to find the switch for that. But, we get that. Ooh, 200 rupees, very nice. Rude. Rude! No! There we go. Where's that room with the very obvious arrow? I think that was here. It was. Because now we can yeet. You've got the Nightmare's key. Now you can open the door to the Nightmare's lair. Get dunked on, nerd. Yeah, oh, what a weird object. Oh, if only we could tackle it in some way. Yeah, I know. If only. It's one of the things I don't like about this game is it doesn't remember if you've interacted with something or if you know how to break it. And so it will often be like, oh, yeah, okay. Why do I need a small key? I didn't find the map, and I didn't find... So there's like a whole room I'm missing. Oh, well. Neener, neener. You can't find me. Oh, yeah? What if we did a little mitosis? I'm going to die. Called it! More like itosis. Is that when you have eyes on your toes? That sounds horrifying. What? No, no, no. I jumped. Would you rather have eyes on your toes or fingers? I guess my fingers, because if they were on my toes, they'd just see the inside of my socks all the time. Baloney! Baloney! You found the Sea Lily's bell. Square waves. Waterfall. It is hidden in the waterfall. Hoot hoot, how many instruments have you gotten so far? When you play the instruments in front of the egg, the windfish will wake, and you will leave this island. Now you must hasten to the Yarna Desert. The dark, monstrous inhabitants of the island will show you the way. Hoot hoot! Okay, you're in a desert. I believe is here in the bottom right. So I think the best way to get there... This is about where my knowledge of the game really falls off. I have beaten it. I have played further repeatedly, but this is one of those comfort games that I have restarted and played like the first third of quite a bit. Actually, I know what we should do. We should go to the sign maze. It's better than the cosine maze. Oh, Link! I see you have a nice stick. It's a nice stick you've got there. Can I borrow it for a second? You've done everything except finish Skyrim multiple times. Yeah. Stick became a honeycomb. You're not sure how it happened, but you'll take it. What? Oh, I didn't read the first sign. Go this way. Go this way. Down. Oh, dang it, we can't do this. Oh, you need the hook shot to do this, I forgot. At some point we'll need to do the color dungeon as well. It's an optional dungeon that was added into this version of the game. That gives you either basically the piece of power or the guardian acorn. It gives you one of those permanently, which stacks with the guardian acorns you can pick up. It's quite nice. Hoot hoot! The windfish sleeps long and dreamily on the egg above. When you play the 8 siren instruments in front of the egg, he will awaken. This, my friend, is the only way for you to leave the land. Hoot! It's a big egg. Grab a quick screenshot of that for the YouTube page. Hey, look, it's another teleport point. Also, look, it's the entrance to the next dungeon, behind a waterfall, just as promised. You haven't finished Oblivion or Skyrim, but you've done everything else. I actually beat the main quest of Oblivion once. It was an interesting ending. Truly an ending of all time, as they say. You know Martin is going to live because Sean Bean never dies. I think it's actually like one of Sean Bean's few roles where he does... Well... I guess he technically doesn't. He makes it to the end of the story, though, so that's something. I just love to take pictures. Will you let me take your picture? Go to the back of the room and stand in front of the screen. I'll call this, "Here Stands a Brave Man." Say cheese. What's your name, young man? Link? Well, here's your album, Link. See, this would be Thief if I stole. Give it a look before you leave. Let's see if we can fill that album. Travels of Link. Do you want to take a look at your album? Sure. What picture would you like to see? You could print this with the Game Boy printer. Also, the Game Boy printer was a thing. Truly, we live in the greatest of timelines. Mario Paint had... Hold on. I just got this in the mail today. It did not include the mouse, but I ordered that from somewhere else, and it should be in tomorrow. And it's not the only game that can use the mouse. There is also King Arthur's Quest, which I have, which uses the mouse. So I'm actually excited to play that with the mouse for the very first time. You can also do it with controller, but it's a little clunky. But yeah, I just got this in the mail, so it's today. So it's kind of funny that you mentioned it. I think we could do the dream room, actually. Yeah. Lavo? I never got it, but I thought it was a neat idea. Yeah, no, the peripherals for the Super Nintendo are not something I've ever intended to collect. Except for the mouse. I do want a mouse, and I technically own one, I just don't have it in my hands. Because it's en route. You got 100 rupees. You're happy. Don't tell me how to feel, game. You've got the ocarina! You should learn to play many songs! 3. You learned 3. But I have no intention of getting, like, the super scope. Or any super scope games. This is good, because we actually needed this for this quest. Well, it's an ocarina, but you don't know how to play it. Hey, that's a nice ocarina you have there. You suck at playing it, but you let me accompany you as I sing? So, how do you like the song? It's really touching, isn't it? Does it stick in your mind? Yes. It is a loss that we can't have light gun games anymore. Because we can't have, what is it, Time Splitters? Those games are nuts. You learned the Ballad of the Windfish. This song will always remain in your heart. Please remember the song. You should play it every once in a while to keep it fresh in your mind. You don't have to do that. But I think that's the perfect sort of story beat to call it on for the day. So before getting lost in anything else. But thanks so much for tuning in to Let Us Play. I've been your host, Father Evan. It's been good to be with y'all today, and I hope you have a great rest of your day and a great weekend. Join us again on Monday for more Super Mario RPG. In fact, the final episode, I think. Fingers crossed. War Wild Mender on Tuesday. Minecraft on Wednesday, of course. And continuing this on Thursday. So thank you again to everyone who's liked, followed, subscribed, given bits, all that good jazz. Checked out the YouTube, checked out the Discord. And I hope you have a great rest of your day and a great weekend. And why don't we see who's live that we can raid into? Not a lot of folks actually live right now, so no raid. So I hope you have a great rest of your day and a great weekend. Take care, and God bless.